Right, sorry, I'm just doing some audio checks. Just bear with me. Okay, let me know if you can hear me okay. Testing, testing. Let me know if you can hear me and if the audio sounds okay. Is it too loud, too quiet, or is it okay? Excuse me. Oh, right, sore throat today. Woke up with it this morning. Right. Okay, let me know. Testing sound is good. Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. Hello, Alan Edge, my YouTube husband. You missed my live stream the other day. I did a live stream on my new channel a few days ago. Purple Crown, nothing. It's just some weird YouTube thing. Hi, Amethyst. How you doing, darling? Hi, Tamsin. Hi, Yvonne. Hey, little Miss Sunshine. Alan Edge, my YouTube husband. Brum Vixen, how you feeling now, darling? Lily Bell, hello, hello. Hopefully we'll get some more people in. And we'll get some people coming over from my new channel as well, because I did share it over there. There's lots and lots of people come over to my new channel from all my shorts, which is good. Let's just get over there and let them know I'm live. Oh my God, I've got a banging headache. Right. Okay. So I've been doing some... Oh. Hi, Kaz. Why haven't you got a wrench? Right. Hopefully they'll see it. But, right. We get into the stream. Hit the like, guys, if you don't mind helping out the channel. If you like the content, that is. If you don't like the content, then that's fine as well. So I've been basically doing a lot of research on this. 8 likes. Thanks, everyone. Just honestly, this hurts my brain because there is so much to go through. This society is intertwined highly, literally, in our everyday life now, and it has been for decades and decades and decades. The more I start looking at things, the more I go off on another tangent, and then I end up going down. It just doesn't stop, and it's taken me quite a while I've had to take a step back from it and try and look at it again, because it's so this society that there is links to Nazi Germany. We're going to show you a little bit about eugenics now and what they believed. Links to Marxism. It's mind blowing. Charles Darwin as well. Darwinism. This natural selection and all this stuff. The Fabian Society are literally ingrained in everything. And for those of you that missed the last one, hello, Terry Knowles Band again. So the audio's okay, is it, guys? Yeah. I'm just going to give you a really quick overview. And I mean really quick. So just really briefly, the Fabian Society have been... they've been going since 1884. Now, they took over from another Marxist socialist society, should we call it, called the Fellowship. I think it was... Hi, Dave. How you doing? I think it was the Fellowship of Life. Off the top of my head, I might be slightly wrong there. And they were more... fairly socialists, but not this extreme. They didn't like the idea of eugenics and all this stuff. So they created all the sort of the dodgy ones from that, joined and made this, and got rid of all the people that were trying to be more fair. and they took over quite a few. They managed to get in with who was the Liberal Party at the time, because the Labour didn't exist. These are the Labour Party. I'm just going to give you guys, I know if you were here last time, you know all this, but I'm just giving anyone that's new a brief overview if you're coming in about the Fabian Society. They tried to infiltrate the Conservatives, but they found that the Liberals were easier to manipulate, because as per usual, the left are much easier to manipulate with these ideologies than the right. So they managed to get themselves into the Liberals, but then even the Liberals said this isn't on. This, I'm going back to like 1885, 86, now 87. And the Conservative Party is the oldest political party in the world, so they were, well established then. And even the Liberals at the time were saying, this is a bit dodgy, this, because you want to. The things that they were talking about was going in and changing governments and doing it in such a way that was basically gaslighting. That wasn't even a word then, manipulation, and their slow and steady wins the race is what they believed, what they still believe. And even the Liberals had enough of them and said, this, we want radical reform, we want workers' rights and all this stuff, and you guys just want to do it all slowly and underhand. So the Liberals said, do one. So that's why the Fabian Society actually started the Labour Party. So the Labour Party is the Fabians. People say, oh, the Fabians have got fingers in all the pies. No, they haven't, okay? The Labour Party is the Fabians. The Fabians created the Labour Party. Beatrix Potter was one of the founding members, and her husband. We had George Orwell. He wasn't a founding member, but George Orwell. Was it Eric? Hang on, let me just check his name. Eric Arthur Blair was George Orwell's real name. He was a member. He later left, but he was a member of the society. A lot of rich, prominent people. And it was actually the Rothschild family who, the Jewish, Asenaki Jew, Rothschild family that actually got in bed with the Fabians and funded the London School of Economics. And the London School of Economics is literally the Fabians' base. So anyone that's ever been there and learnt there has learnt the Fabian ways. So we've got the von der Leyen EU Commissioner woman, the President of China, all your big Labour politicians were there. Tony Blair unveiled the stained glass window there in 1997, I think it was, because they found it again, because it disappeared. It goes on, and George Orwell, Eric Arthur Blair, he actually seen what they were doing and left the Fabians, and he knew that they had a 100-year plan, and the 100-year plan in 1884 was due to be fully implemented by 1984, which is why he wrote the book as a warning, the 1984 book, because he knew what was coming. Obviously, things don't always go to exact plan, and they're a few decades out, but here we are now. We are in full swing of the woke ideologies of the Fabian Society. So that's a bit of a brief overview. Now, how are we all doing? Welcoming everybody. I've not been really seeing much the chat. Are they like the Quakers? Not really. The Quakers were religious. These guys are non-religious. They're atheists. They believe in an ideology, not in a... I keep the questions coming out. I'm literally just checking the chat, by the way. So if anyone said anything, I might not have seen it. Well, I wouldn't have seen it. Just come and check the chat. So what we're going to do, hold on a sec. And don't get confused between they want you to believe that this big brother type thing is all about fascism. It's not. It's the opposite to fascism. It's socialism. They had links to Nazis, because they were messing with eugenics as well. Remember at the time, they loved their eugenics. Now, guys, I'm going to try and join this thing, you know. I'm going to try and take one for the team, right? And I'm going to try and go in. I'm going to try and go in undercover, yeah? I'm going to try and join the Fabian Society. I don't know what you guys think. I've mentioned doing this before. We've covered these for years, over the years. And I think it's time that I took one for the team and went in there and had a little nose and see what's going on. Okay, and then I can't really watch a video right now because obviously I'm streaming. You know, this I just want to mention this ID card thing. You know, this ID card, yeah? It was never going to be anything. This is why I haven't covered it that much. It was never going to do anything. It was a non-starter. They knew it was never going to do anything. They were talking about it briefly in June between themselves, and there was a few murmurings. It wasn't planned to be released anytime soon. They were going to try and do it towards the end of the Parliament and try and sneak it in. But because of all, and I mean all of the, with the Labour Party at the moment, the amount of stuff that's coming out and scandal after scandal after scandal. And you had that Swede guy who he was about to be sacked, right? And he was all this money he was moving around and he hadn't paid his tax. And then you had Starmer and his donkey field. That was on the back of all the Lord Ali stuff, the Angela Rayner stuff, the corruption minister being investigated for corruption and all this other stuff. And the Labour Party, the government now, were absolutely like falling apart. And they knew that if they started releasing this information about an ID card, that everybody would hate it. But there's no such thing as bad publicity because it buries a story. And we all stopped talking about Donkeygate with his 20 grand field that turned into a profit of 300 grand. We all stopped talking about all the stuff that was going on with the corruption, with Starmer going. All of it got swept under the carpet because everybody was talking about ID cards. And when they announce something that big and they know it's going to be very popular, it's always about look over here, not over there. And that's what that was all about. And it worked. It worked. And now you're going to see them slowly step. It's like the conference. No one spoke about it at the Labour Party conference last week because it was never planned to be announced. It was literally a big distraction just to wind people up and to make people stop looking at what they were looking at. So I'm hoping that the newspapers don't fall for this crap and keep going with it. But there you go. Okay, how are we all doing? Hi, Avogadro. Okay, so, oh gosh. Yeah, well, sometimes you've got to take one for the team. I want to know what's going on. If I can get in there, guys, right? If I can get in there, little thick, then, you know, we might be able to see what's going on. My back's killing me, my knees killing me, I'm moaning, but bloody hell, I'm in pain. Okay, right, I've had to move. My knee's getting worse. Hi Candice, how you doing? How's everyone doing? I hope you're all okay. Double Agent Penny there will check. Well, this is what I'm saying. I've just looked. I want to know my address and everything. I don't really like the sound of that, do you? Right, let me just pop on. Gosh, my throat's on fire. Right, I put subscribers only on. You don't have to be subscribed for any amount of time. Just subscribe to chat. That's all we ask. And yeah, and welcoming if you're watching and you've come over from the new channel. We've got a load of new subscribers from Shorts over there, so thank you everybody. You are all welcome over because there will be some crossover with the two channels. Right, okay, so where to start with this? Now, the Fabian Society, I think, well, again, I've got to give you a really brief overview because I know we've covered it before, but there's people that missed the first one. So where they get the name from is, they get the name from the Fabius Maximus, I can't say it, which was a Roman soldier. And he believed that you could win a battle using your mind, like tactics, not going in and just fighting. You could do it slow and steady. So that was it. The Fellowship of the New Life. That was the original one that most of the members came from. It was like a splinter group of the Fabians. So we've got, these are the earlier people. It was all Victorian era, and then you've got all these crazies that went over. Right, here we go. Fabius Maximus, he was a Roman statesman and general of the 3rd century BC. And he was a consul 5 times and appointed dictator in like the 2021, 2017. And the way that he won his war was totally different and unheard of in those days. He beat his army, he beat his enemies through persistence, harassment, and wearing the enemy down by attrition rather than pitched climatic battles. So he literally drove his opponent down. He waited very patiently, delayed lots of stuff, and literally bored his opponent to death until he just gave up. There were very, very underhanded tactics, and that is who they are based on. They are based on this Fabian guy, this Fabius Maximus, and how he did his fighting and how he won his battles. It's quite dodgy. It's very dodgy. But he believed that you didn't need to go in and just fight. For the right moment, you must wait, as Fabius did most patiently when warring against Hannibal, though many censored his delays. But when this time comes, you must strike hard, as Fabius did, or your waiting will be in vain. So it was all about slow. There was no rush, taking your time, walking away at times, even though your enemy thought they would win. You walk away. Very, very unusual tactics. You don't even have to do any direct fighting. It's all about wearing your opponent down, and that is who they're based on. And one of their logos was actually the tortoise. Let me see if I can find it. Don't know if it's going to be in this one. Let me have a look. Tortoise. No. Let me just get the tortoise up and I'll show you. If you want to know a bit more about it, if you want to go, there are my other streams that are still up. I know I've been covering them for years and years and years. What's this about here? Right. Get off. I don't want that. Sorry, I'm just talking to myself. Okay, so this is the tortoise here. You're about to get it up on your screen right now. Oh, for the love of God, what have I just pressed? I'm always pressing buttons and... Oh, there we go. I'm talking to myself now. Hi, Bobby. How we doing? All right. Okay, so I know a lot of you know this, but some of you don't. So this is their early emblem, and it was when I strike hard. That is your tortoise. So it was all about taking your time, no rushing. You think that you've lost. Let the other side think they've won. Plod along, and then all of a sudden they just go for it, which is what's happening right now. It's all coming at once, isn't it? So that is what they believed. Fabian Society has its foundations from the Roman Empire, which is a feudal crime syndicate. See, there you go. People know. People are all over this shit. Communist scum. Well done, people. Well done for calling these out for what they are. Okay, so it gives you an idea of these people. Now, I do want to talk about the eugenic side of it, because these people were obsessed with eugenics. And I find it quite disturbing. They talk about all this be kind, liberal nonsense. And yet they were the ones that wanted to breed out poor people. They wanted to kill disabled people, and they weren't worthy of being in society. And this was all about what they wanted to do. Hi Mark, how you doing? Hi everybody, welcome in. If I've missed you, I apologise. I'm catching chat. So eugenics in Britain. Eugenics means good breeding, and we know that the Nazis were doing this as well. And the Nazis were doing this after these were, and they got a lot of their information and a lot of their ideas from the Fabians. And I'm doing this briefly now, but I do want to get into today's Fabians and all of their plans now, and who exactly is part of the Fabians. We're going to go through them and list them. So it means good breeding. It was coined in 1883. That was a year before the Fabians started, by Sir Francis Galton. Now, he was the cousin of Charles Darwin, and these two were very influential on the start of the Fabian Society. Well, the science of eugenics is now widely discredited. Few of its leading proponents and numerous other with looser links to the movement have been given London blue plaques in the past. We know what the London blue plaque is. It's all about the Fabians when you get your little blue plaque. Now, why are they giving blue plaques out? You've got to wonder, to these eugenics people. At the time, their views were either regarded as uncontroversial, not controversial, uncontroversial, or their achievements were considered to outweigh any reservations about their eugenic connections. We explore the controversial and changing ideas. So here we go. This is talking about Charles Darwin and Francis Galton, who was first starting to talk about eugenics. Look at this, is a picture here of a laboratory. Now, these people wanted to get rid of, so if you had a baby and it was born disabled or something, they believed that you could just get rid of it and you could breed out bad genetics. Does that remind you of any evil tyrant in the last sort of like 200 years or 100 years even? It's what Nazism was based on, which was the Fabians' way. So how they can say that they are this liberal, caring, party? This is why all their be kind nonsense. They can say it, but it doesn't mean anything. They literally want to get rid of anyone who is poor from this country, and I think that is why they're bringing in all these foreigners. I really do, because they think they can just wipe us all out and only keep the affluent people. Even the Liberal Democrats are calling this lot out. What does that tell you? You're right, George. Lie down, good boy. So they believed that they were applying scientific solutions to social problems, just like when you've got Animal Kingdom and they have loads and loads of eggs. So there's a clutch of eggs and birds, and they know that only like one or two are going to survive. So you keep pumping them out. It's all about natural selection, and that is what these people were doing. And these people were in government. They got themselves involved in government. So Cole Pearson, another one who was involved in the Fabian Society. This is the Eugenics Society. These had a lot to do with the Fabians. Again, this isn't about the Fabians. This is about eugenics. But this is what the Fabians were doing. They wanted to cure social, physical disorders or traits among the poor. They also included alcoholism, habitual criminality, reliance on welfare, prostitution, diseases such as syphilis and tuberculosis, neurological disorders such as epilepsy, mental conditions. This is all what they were doing. Mixture of races in dealing with the question of one race and mating with another. We ought to forget mere difference of skin colour, right? And focus our attention on whether social defects may be proved to come from such unions. The good physical traits of some of the black races might be added to our civilization. So this is what they were doing. They wanted to pick out good black genetics and mix it with the white race here. And this, I'm going back, this is going back to like the late 19th century, early 20th century. They were talking about this stuff. Literally everything what you're seeing now, even on the TV, everything's mixed race now. They're pushing this narrative and this agenda. And if you talk about it, they say you're racist, but it's got nothing to do with that. This is what they were doing. It says here, look, who should be eliminated? These are the people that are in charge right now that are talking about this. The Americas, what was that? The American Breeders Association. You know, they're talking about considered the socially unfit and their supply should, if possible, be eliminated from the human stock. This is the Fabians. They are really, really messed up sickos. A sound person can marry a mentally an insane person can marry a mentally sound person, and the children may show no taint. So they're literally trying to breed out these, you know, poor people or disabled people, and they want to bring in they want black people to mix in so we can get the best from both and breed out what they see as the bad genetics of the white indigenous population. Does this start to sound familiar of what's happening at the moment? So this guy here, the first Eugenics Congress. I'm just having a look at some of these names here to see if they stand out at me. So this guy, this Galton guy, he wasn't a Fabian, but he was part of the Fabians used him, and he was like an advisor to them. Just having a quick look through this here. Some of those who were sympathetic to here we go, eugenic ideas included members of the Fabians. So this is where you have to go all the way down the bottom to read this, all right? So here it states, the Fabian Society were critical of the strict focus upon heredity. They called for greater attention to be paid to environmental factors in the formation of social problem groups. Fabian social scientists and political reformers Beatrix and Sidney Webb, that's Beatrix Potter, the author of Peter Rabbit, by the way, that is her, and George Bernard Shaw, an economist and politician with William Beveridge, who sat on the Eugenics Society Consultative Council, so they were consultants with them, until the late 1950s, were among the Fabian eugenicists at the London School of Economics. London School of Economics was founded by the Fabians, funded by the Rothschilds. This is all fact, it's not just made up nonsense. And it's still going today. So I hope you're all okay. I'm not seeing any chat because I'm going through this. Please hit the like if you don't mind. It helps out the stream. I hope you're enjoying this information. I'm just giving you as much detail as I can on the Fabian Society because it's so prevalent today. And I know a lot of you are interested in this sort of stuff. I want to see whether this Ramsay MacDonald is related to that. Is it John McDonald? What's his name? Tom? I can't remember, that Labour guy now. In general, although there were critics of many features of the eugenics movement, they sought the reformulation, not the defeat of the eugenic ideology. So that's what they do. That's what Labour do, or the Fabians do. They, instead of when something's going wrong, they don't scrap it. They take it away and try and wrap it up in a different little gift and use a bit of word salad and put it out back again. So when something's not going their way, that's what they do. And that's what the Labour Party have always done. That's what they do now. I don't think they're actually of sound mind. I really don't, because they don't have any awareness of what's going on around them whatsoever. They have their ideas and they have their orders, and that's it. Look at David Lammy being sent to Manchester last week. Why on earth would you send him after all the horrible things he said? But then he just continues his speech like it's almost like they're soulless shells of humans, these people. They have no emotion whatsoever. Complete psychopaths. So natural selection by death has been set aside. Okay, so we're not going to do that now, because people didn't like that if we killed people. But the state can set sexual selection in operation again by an education in good taste. So we're not going to kill them, we're just going to not let them shag each other so they can't have their babies. Yeah, he believed this Ramsay MacDonald, he was a Fabian, believed a race of healthy and comely men and women would be encouraged without the need for negative methods such as segregation of the unfit. So this was their nice way of saying, we're going to do the same sort of thing. We're not going to kill you, we're just going to keep you from having children. They literally, the Fabians have had their fingers in all of the Labour governments since the Labour Party, their inception. This was a 1930 Mental Deficiency Act. It's proper messed up. I'm going to drop this link in here because there's so much to go through. I'm not going to have time to go through it all. But if you want to go and read this, it's proper messed up. Right, so that's a lot of history there, and it's on the English Heritage page as well. So it gives you a lot of information about the eugenics and the links to the Fabians. I just want to add this bit as well, because this was interesting as well. Do you know that the birth control that we just brainwash now to think is just totally normal and part of life, including myself, all right? Guess who brought all these ideas up? The Birth Control Society and Free Clinic, Marie Stopes. Guess who Marie Stopes was part of? Yeah, you guessed it, the Fabian Society. All of this was part of stopping us from having babies, so that we weren't just bonking all over like they're doing, like these poor countries, and just bumping out babies left, right, and centre. They wanted less babies. The entire thing is all about stopping us from having more babies. They bought out the birth control news in the 1920s. The society changed its position on birth control. Now, let's not forget that, like in other countries now, in poorer countries, they would never use this. There's so much information here. Honestly, I recommend you read it all, because it is so interesting. Because this woman, this Marie, is it Marie Tropes or Stopes? This one here, she's the one that brought all of this in. These blue plaques dotted around everywhere. So I'm not going to read it all because there's so much, but it is a really, really good read. So I'm going to drop it in again. If you're interested in the eugenics and the Fabians, there is a lot of information in there. Hell of a lot of information in there. I do want to briefly talk about, I know I've covered some of that in the past, I do want to talk about the current Fabians, because I don't think a lot of people believe this. But there are, for example, Sadiq Khan. Sadiq Khan is one. Jeremy Corbyn. So that it covers a lot of it covers from the left of the party to the right of the party, because Keir Starmer is actually to the right of the Labour Party, believe it or not, because he wanted to cut welfare and they wouldn't let him, stuff like that. This is why I wanted to talk to the people from my new channel on here, because the Fabian Society is so involved in today's politics. There's a big crossover. Right, okay. I do want to talk about mostly the current stuff. You know, the up-to-date stuff, because they have a new agenda. They have their agenda. Guess what it's called? Agenda 2030. They've actually got a document out. You literally, you could not make this up, folks, right? They have a document out, Agenda 2030. You just could not make this shit up. You really couldn't. Right, let me just see if I can get this up now. I'll read the chat in a minute as well, so you can ask any questions. We actually call it that, though. They actually like the Day of No Shame. Now, this was written on the 23rd of May 2024. General elections on the way, not a moment too soon. The Fabians will stand side by side with Labour. Yeah, so there he is. It was all orchestrated. These Fabians have got a lot to do with the Guardian newspaper. That's a Fabian newspaper. A lot of the left-wing press. So they're just everywhere, right? But you won't see them in the Conservative Party. You won't see them. And you won't see them in the Liberal Democrats either, because the Liberal Democrats don't like them either. They hate them. It's madness, really. So every single Prime Minister has been every single Labour Prime Minister has been a Fabian. This is on their own website, guys. This is the Fabians' own website. This will be a generation-defining election. This was last year it wrote this. 45, 64, 97. The British left offers the change the nation is yearning. Who voted for these? Who believed these? Honestly. So, yeah, every single Labour Prime Minister has been a Fabian. And if Labour wins in July, this was last year, Keir Starmer will join their ranks. Keir was a Fabian before he was elected to Parliament. There's your proof they are selected, not elected. He was chosen as a Fabian member before he was even a politician. He was brought in from their ranks. And he served on our executive committee. In 2021, he wrote The Road Ahead, a Fabian pamphlet setting out his vision of a fairer, more secure and prosperous Britain built on Labour values. I don't know about you guys, but this society give me the absolute creeps. They really, really do. So it talks about how the Fabians have been shaping policy of the left for the last 140 years. They are not ashamed of it. They completely think it's great. What are people saying in the chat? Let's have a quick gander. Is Agnes here? Who else is here? Hi, Stephen. Every single Labour Prime Minister and Labour leader are Fabians. Agenda 2030, yeah. I don't think I'm not joking. Oh, thank you, Amethyst, my love. Thank you. Thanks for being a member as well, guys. I forgot to do my membership giveaway. I'm gonna do won't be tonight now because it's getting a bit late and I'm banging headache. I've got a bit of a throat infection coming on. I've not had one for a year now, so God, it hurts so much. I need to do my duck races basically. So if you're members on either, I think Alan Edge put the extra to his 99p, I remember. So anyone that's a member at the $2.99 or above, I think there's only that one. Yeah. Goes into the duck race. I've got to get that set up. Just reading the comments here. They see the UK. Yeah, the UK is literally like a test case for them. They see us as this experiment, basically, on this island. But if you look deeper into these Fabians, right, and this eugenic stuff, you start to realise where all this mixed race has come from. And it's and I'm not talking about the human side of it now, because I've got mixed race family and it's nothing to do with racism. Take the human emotion out of it and look at the bigger picture, the entire bigger picture. Can you, George? They wanted this to happen so they could weaken down the gene pool, because it's been proven in different studies that by mixing races, it does cause, apparently, according to actual studies, mental health conditions and so on. And that's why humans naturally go to their own race. And it's not about being racist, but you do, don't you? You see, Japanese people will marry Japanese people. Jewish people tend to marry their own people. It's just human nature. It's something to do with racism. But if we try and do that, we're seen as racist. It's the whole Fabian mindset has been to make us feel guilty for just doing what every other country does. And it's all to do with this eugenics. It's so creepy. It really is. So who else have we got? We've got Keir Starmer. Let's have a look at the old hang on. Here we go. So another one here. We've got Yvette Cooper. She's one as well. I don't know what's she now. She Justice. I know she got demoted, didn't she? Another one. Yvette Cooper's one. They all are Sadiq Kunt. All of them. They are all Fabians. Now, this Agenda 2030 I was reading earlier, I managed to. They wanted me to pay a tenner. They wanted me to pay a tenner, right, to buy this pamphlet thing, and I managed to download it. So I managed to do that for free. And basically, I've only just started going through it. I'm going to be there forever trying to get through this entire thing. I'm not going to be able to do it all tonight. But this Agenda 2030, I have managed to download it. Hang on, I'm just reading something here. What's this? Sorry, I'm just getting a bit distracted by something. Hang on. I've just come across something, and it's on the government website, and it's about conflicts of interest and the Fabians. So that's something I need to go through as well. Interesting. Yeah, so this Agenda 2030, let me just grab it up. Oh, and I'll just show you Sadiq Kunt as well. He's one. Or Sadiq Kant is what I usually call him. Another wrong-un. They are all wrong-uns. They are literally all wrong-uns. But yeah, here he is. This was in the run-up to the mayoral election in 2021. I don't trust politicians. I know. It's sorry, Amethyst. The thing is, though, this UN thing, it's all of it comes from these. It comes from Fabianism. They are now in America, they're in Canada, they're in Australia, the Five Eyes. Don't think that hi Bridget, don't think for 1 minute that the globalism is all a coincidence. It's Fabianism. This is what started the whole thing. It's this lot. I can't express to you how insane these people are. So there he is, look, in 2021. How on earth he got elected in? There's just no way. even with like the ethnics, I don't think anybody likes him, because if you're black living in London, the biggest knife crime in London is black on black crime, and he's doing absolutely nothing about it. So you'd think that even like the black community wouldn't vote for him. I just find it really bizarre that this bloke's got in. But anyway, he's one. Look at this. This is what he's been talking about. Look, he says London is the greatest city in the world. This is what he's saying when he was going to be voted in, when he was going for the election. I have a 1945 style plan to build a better, safer, greener London. Does it seem safer? Does London seem safer? And he's not a Londoner either, I'm sorry. He talks about how proud he is and all this nonsense. It's just an absolute lunatic. And Sadiq can't. He's going to go for a third term. Did you know that? He's already talking about it. London is a diverse city. Let's not forget that diversity is our strength. All that nonsense. So Sadiq can't. Is a Fabian. Is all over the Fabians website. This is the Fabians website. Look, see? The Fabians. Q&A with Sadiq Khan. I could literally sit here and go through every single Labour politician, every single member of the Labour government right now, and I can prove to you that they are Fabians. They're everywhere. And for some weird reason, a lot of these journalists now have just jumped on this. A lot of YouTubers, podcasters, have been talking about this for years. And people called me a conspiracy theorist and said it was all conspiracy nonsense. And now all of a sudden, it's become mainstream. Now, a lot of the defenders of the Fabians are saying that it's all just, hot air and we're not going to be... we're just going to forget about it. Well, I'm not. Oh, right. Let me just see if I can get into this agenda. One moment. Yeah, apparently Dan Wootton was talking about the Fabians a week ago. They're all just jumping on this. They're just jumping on it now because it's become the cool thing to do. But yeah, it will blow your mind. It really will blow your mind. But I've managed to get hold of it. I've downloaded this agenda thing, so I haven't even gone through it properly yet. But earlier on, I was having a look through it, and so I haven't done that much research on it yet, but I've been going through from what I can, and it was funded by this trust. So I've been going through this trust and having a look on who is this. I think it was called the Darwin Trust. Hold on, here we go. I've got a copy of it. Wrong button. Anyway, how you all doing? I hope you're all okay. It is really, really disturbing. It is. It really is. Right, so this is there. Here it is. I've managed to get hold of it. Hang on. They're calling it 2030 Vision. There you go. This is what my thumbnail was. I might change it though. 2030 Vision. The final report of the Fabian Commission on Future Spending Choices. Now, when this was done, I don't think they weren't even in power when this was commissioned. So it says here, the Fabian Society is Britain's oldest political think tank. Since 1884, the Society has played a central role in developing political ideas and public policy on the left. They've got over almost 7,000 members. Does anybody here know anybody who's a member? God, my knee's so bad. Really hurts. So I haven't got that far on this yet, but I've just started reading it, and the first thing I come across was this. The commission is very grateful because this document is 222 pages long. But this is their vision for up to 2030. So there's going to be a lot of stuff in here that we really need to see. But the first thing I noticed was the Commission is very grateful for the generous support from the Dartmouth Street Trust. So I started going down little rabbit holes and seeing who are the Dartmouth Street Trust. And the people that are involved in this are involved in a lot of other trusts. And I was going further and further down all these rabbit holes. And one of them disturbed me. I don't know if I can find it now. Let me just see if I can find it. Fucking knee. Guys, I've got this type of arthritis. I don't know if anyone here has got arthritis in their knee. But it really hurts. And it's all in my leg. It's in my thigh. Right. Just look at this, guys. Right. So this Dartmouth Street Trust, they're the ones that are funding this Vision 2030, which is basically Agenda 2030, right? Let me just get this off because I want to get you on this. Hang on. Let's take that off. Close. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Right. So this Dartmouth Street Trust, who are the ones that have made this Vision 2030 possible. I was having a little nose. Like, who are they? Who are these people? They're a charity, apparently. Now, I've just been going through these people here, and they do other other trusteeships. Hay Festival Foundation. So I want to go through all of these and see who's involved. I can guarantee that we will be able to trace and follow the money all the way back to, and I'm fully expecting, yeah, it does, Bobby. I am fully expecting us to find some George Soros in there, some Bill Masturbates in there. I'm fully expecting to find some very nefarious characters in there. But what the first thing I come across, I need some minty chocolate. Everything and anything. Well, I've got arthritis in my spine. I've had that for years. I'm back at the hospital next week, but for my back. But this knee thing only got diagnosed a few months ago, and I've only just found out the type. It fucking hurts. It's gone up my thigh. It's just to go off on a tangent. I'll tell you what it's called, what I've been diagnosed with. Where's it gone? Sake. Where the fuck's it gone now? Wrote it down in my phone the other day. I'm talking to the doctor. I can't fucking find it now. Here we go. It's called, just to go off on a little tangent, guys. I do that a lot if you're new. It's called patellofemoral arthritis, or PFJ arthritis. It's to do with the kneecap, the patella, and the thigh bone. It's the joint between the kneecap and the thigh bone. And my kneecap is going to explode. It's all up my thigh and everything. I've never had it this bad before. This pain, it's ridiculous. Okay, so forget that a minute. If I start moaning in pain, that's because I'm in a lot of pain. Yeah, the thing is, you got to have something nice, haven't you? Yes, it's the knee that I fell on. Remember when I fell over and I smashed up my knee? Well, they found out that when they did the scan, they couldn't see all this arthritis. It was so swollen. It was just full of all this fluid and bruising and all that. So they sent me for another scan. I forgot, April, was it? Something this year? I can't remember. Sent me for another scan, and now they've discovered all this arthritis inside my knee that has been exacerbated by the fall. I take turmeric. I take it Together Health, Turmeric. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, which is what I do a lot. So I starts going through these here. So this trust is funding the Fabians, right? So you've got all their money and everything, right? Going through all this stuff. So this Dartmouth Street Trust. So it starts going through. I've not seen that one. I think it was this one. One of these foundations disturbed me. They disturbed me a lot, and it was the name of it. And I've got to try and find it now. Just bear with me. See if I can find it. Right, so there's this other one, the Social Market Foundation. They love these foundations, don't they? Have you noticed? Now, so the same people that are running this Dartmouth Foundation Society, whatever it's called, trust, who have been the main funders for the Fabians Agenda 30, they also fund other trusts. So I'm following all these different lines on the trusts. Now, this other trust, there's the Japan Society, that Dartmouth Street Trust, who are funding the Fabians. But look at this one, guys. This one was a bit creepy. There's one here called the Sun Babies Nursery. The Sun Babies Nursery. What the fuck? The Sun. Now, we know how much they believe in their sun gods and all that stuff. I found this really weird. Right, let me just see if you've got this up on your screen. Now, this one, why hasn't this been struck off? This charity has not been struck off, and yet its financial reporting is 614 days overdue. This baby charity, the Sun Babies Nursery. And it says here, charity reporting is overdue by 614 days. So coming up to 2 years, there's been no reporting, and they haven't been struck off. They've still got the number. What the fuck? Grants to organisations benefiting children in Hoxton and its neighbourhood. They've only done their accounts until 2022. Look at this. So all of these trusts, if you're wondering what's going on, these trusts are within trusts that are funding the Fabians. Now, what are these trusts? What do they do? Why have they not been any accounts for 2 years nearly? And why haven't they been struck off? And this is where I want to go next. I want to go down these rabbit holes next. I want to know who these are. Who is the Social Market Foundation? The people running that are also running this Dartmouth Street Trust. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about, if we go back here, where's it gone? We'll go back to here. Where's it gone now? Yeah, okay. So if you're thinking, what's she on about? Look, this is their Agenda 30. This is it right here on page 7. The Commission is very grateful for the generous support of the Dartmouth Street Trust, which has made this work possible. Now look at this. We are most grateful to the many individuals. So they're funding it. This trust are funding the Fabians. Why is there a baby trust that's still not been struck off after 2 years of providing no financial information, which I'm pretty sure is against being a charity? I think you have to keep your charitable status. I think you have to provide up-to-date statements, as far as I'm aware. All the other ones have. It's weird, isn't it? Anyone thinking this is just really, 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 really bizarre? Hi, Golden Girl. Welcome in. I can see you. Have you come over from my new channel? I have asked people to come over. Guys, if you're coming over from the other channel, you are welcome in. Please comment, say hello. Nothing's been deleted. Comments keep disappearing. Yeah, I can see you. Yeah, the RSPCA. Oh, I forgot about my tea again. Oh, I forgot about my tea from earlier. I bet it's gone cold now. Let me just see. Al did it me earlier before I walked the dog. I think I've just done too much walking on my. I've really hurt my knee. I'm going to need some ice after this stream. Let me just see if my tea's cold. Hang on. What's this breaking news? Hang on. What's the matter?
Escaping flies.
Oh. That's right. It's just talking about a peace deal. Could you take this tea away? It's gone all weird and cold and mottled. Ugh. When you come past. That's gross. Did the new tea come, the clipper? What?
Yeah.
We dropped a fly? No, we're feeding the spider. Sorry? I had to buy these little weird little fruit fly things. I'll have to do an update. I'll have to do a video on my other channel about the spider. Jumping spider. I'm terrified of spiders, but jumping spiders are dead cute to look at, but I wouldn't touch them. I like their little faces. Anyway, so could you take that in, please? Take something in. I can't take this knee pain. It's ridiculous. He's gone to bed. Yeah. He's all right. He's had some food today, hasn't he? He's had 2 feeds, yeah. Anywho, yes, welcome in, Golden Girl. You are so welcome here. You started to look into them. Yeah, you know what? I've looked into them a lot over the last few years, but I'm going deeper and deeper now. So this is the second part we've done in this current series. But look at all this. Look at all these people here. I need to sit down and look into all these people, because these are the people that have helped put this Agenda 2030 together. Margaret Hodge is in there, MP. She was in the Blair government. I'd love to see who all these people were, but Robert Tinker at the Fabian Society. So this 222-page document is going to tell us how they want to shape the future, right? So I need to see. I've only just started going through it. I need to go through the entire thing, because I bet there's a lot of dodgy stuff in here. And if we read this, we can see what's coming down the line. And this is why I think it's important that one of us, can you hear George? One of us joins these, because we want some insider information, don't we? But this final report is in, guys, and they know what's coming. Nothing wrong with Penny's eyes. She can see. No, honestly, there are lots of evils. Yeah. Do you know what, though? Honest to God, Golden Girl, and welcome in, love. Just the Fabians are probably the dodgiest I've ever come across. Exactly what is their agenda? Bridget, I've just got hold of this report tonight. I was on the edge of the music industry. Yeah, 1,000,000%, darling. There's so much dodgy stuff going on, and the movie industry, and if you ever want to talk about, and are you in the UK or in the US or Canada or anywhere else? If ever anybody wants to come on and talk and share their story, depending on what they're talking about, it depends on what channel I'll put you on. If you want to come and do it and me interview you, I'm up for that. That's not the same one, is it?
No, it's a fresh brew.
That's not 2 minutes.
Fresh brew.
No.
I'll tell you when next time.
My knee hurts so much. And I feel like bad moaning, but I've never had knee pain like this before. Oh. Ow. Sorry, George. Sorry, I've just knocked you. I'm sorry. I needed to move my foot, and he was lying on my foot. Yeah, so hi, Carlos. So, guys, honestly, I need to go through this report thing, because I think there's a lot of answers in there. I really do. It is systemic. But like I said before, guys, it is all coming from the Fabians. The whole thing. It's all coming from there. It's the Freemasons hate them, right? people think that all of the, you know, the Fabians and the Freemasons, it's all the same thing. It's not. It is not the same. They're different. What is going on here? Let me just see what this is. So the London School of Economics as well is very, very disturbing. And that is still there now. And that is what is teaching all of these people. Isn't Bernard Shaw, I don't know if Hubby's there now. Isn't Bernard Shaw H.G. Wells as well was involved? Did you know that? Did you know that H.G. Wells was part of this as well, folks? I don't know how many people knew this. You know, the one that wrote War of the Worlds and is talking about aliens and all that? He was one. He was one, guys. I swear to God. Right. Oh, is it not going to let me read the article? So what was all that about? Was he trying to tell us something? You know, was it... Because a lot of people have said that he was an alien. Now, I don't believe he was an alien, but this is interesting. Hold on. Right. You know H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds? Who here knew that he was a Fabian as well? He was part of the Fabian Society. Right. Yeah, look at this. In the 1930s, they tried to create the conservative Fabians. They really did try to get in the conservatives, but they initially attempted to permeate, is that the right word? Permeate the Liberal Party with some success. The foundation of the Labour Party in 1900 signalled a change in tactics. This is all on the Fabian wiki. So they did try and get into the Conservative Party as well. But anyway, critiques. Now look at this. As one of the world's oldest and most prominent think tanks, if not the oldest, the Fabians have sometimes fallen under attack, you think, more often from the left than the right, because like I said to you before, all of this eugenics stuff, like, how is that liberal? Like, it literally goes against everything, because the Liberals were there before the Fabians in the Labour Party, and the Liberals are still there now. And lo and behold, the Liberal Democrats don't like these lot either. They're the old left. They're the original left, really. This lot, believing in eugenics and picking out disabled people and all that, that's not left. That's not liberal. That's Marxism stroke. What Hitler wanted to do that sort of shit, didn't he? So most older critiques focused on the Fabians' political organisation efforts and claims to have been influential. Although H.G. Wells, he was an English writer prolific in many genres, he wrote War of the Worlds, was a member of the Fabian Society from 1903 to 1908. He was a critic of its operations, particularly in his 1905 paper, The Faults of the Fabian, in which he claimed the society was a middle-class talking shop. He later parodied the society in his 1910 novel, The New Machiavelli, which is a Machiavellian, is the worst type of narcissist. Interesting, isn't it? So these people, and all the people that started it were affluent, rich. You know, they weren't like poor people. They were all very affluent, influential people that started the Fabians. Oh, darling, I'm sorry to hear that. I could be here all night talking about this. It's so messed up. But the wiki page has got a lot as well. There was another one I wanted. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Interesting. I think we need to look into who's funding them as well. Look at this, look. It says here, funding. The Fabian Society has been rated as broadly transparent in its funding by Transparency. In November 2022, the funding transparency website Who Funds You gave the Fabian... So let's have a look then, shall we? Oh, my head's going to explode. What's that? Who funds who? So anyway, let me have a quick look at that. But all of this is all about the Fabians. I'm going to pop the link in as well to this. Yeah, Giorgio. I did cover this briefly at the beginning, Carlos. Carlos asks, wasn't George Orwell one as well? I can't click on that. There's a video that someone's put out 5 years ago. While I'm doing a little bit of research, right, I'm just going to play this video for you. So if that's all right. I don't know if we'll get into trouble. It's called George Orwell's Secret Society, because you just reminded me. Let's put. I'm going to link it so people can go and sub. It's a 5-year-old video, so they might not mind us now because it's been out so long, but might not like the music though. I don't know. We'll see. This is worth a watch.
Welcome back to Info Squad, where truth equals freedom. Unfolding daily in front of our eyes is the world of Big Brother and thought control that was portrayed in George Orwell's classics like 1984. 1984 was written over 60 years ago in 1948. It portrays a stunningly accurate and frightening picture of where we are potentially heading as a global society.
Think about it, but most of us are getting caught on camera at some point after we leave our homes. 22 News reporter David McKay wanted to find out if it bothers you to be almost constantly under surveillance.
The majority of people I spoke with today said they aren't bothered by public surveillance, but only to a certain extent.
Concerns surrounding new smart streetlights. Can they spy on you? Well, maybe even see into your home.
Yeah, right now you've got some of the biggest LED light-making companies in the world, including Philips and Siemens, going at each other trying to win this city contract.
Despite the book being released as fiction, and despite its title, it was almost certainly based on a vision of our future and is planned not for 1984, but for many years later. The year 1984 was symbolic and was significant to the secret society that George Orwell belonged to. George Orwell, whose real name is Eric Arthur Blair, was educated at Eton College, a well-known Illuminati education center that has produced 19 British prime ministers, including David Cameron. While at Eton, George Orwell was taught French by Aldous Huxley. It was here that they became long-life friends.
Mr. Huxley, in your new essays, you state that these various enemies of freedom are pushing us toward a real-life, brave new world, and you say that it's awaiting us just around the corner. First of all, can you detail for us what life in this...
Right, so this is him now. This is George Orwell. Yes, Bill Wilkins has just come in. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, Aldous Huxley, that wrote Brave New World, was a Fabian, and his brother Julian was a eugenicist. You know your stuff, mate. If you come over from the new channel, the Penny for Your Thoughts channel, if you have, welcome, welcome. Everyone's welcome in, guys. If you become a regular, I'll give you a spanner. But yeah, this is an interesting interview, folks. This is George Orwell.
Brave new world that you fear so much.
Eric Arthur.
What life might be like.
Well, to start with, I think this kind of the dictatorship of the future,
God bless.
I think will be very unlike the dictatorships which we've been familiar with in the immediate past. But if you want to preserve your power indefinitely, you have to get the consent of the ruled. And this they will do, partly by drugs, as I foresaw in Brave New World, partly by these new techniques of propaganda. They will do it by bypassing the sort of rational side of man and appealing to his subconscious and his deeper emotions and his physiology even. and so making him actually love his slavery. I mean, I think this is the danger, that actually people may be in some...
Yeah, loving your slavery is exactly what's going on now. And you have to, because of the way the world is in 2025, well, the West especially, you have to take a step away from everything and look at it objectively, because if we're in it now. So, for example, I'll self-censor all the time when I'm doing a live stream, because you're constantly aware that you know, where did this self-censoring come from? We never did this. You know, we're scared to say anything now. We can't offend people. It's this constant, like, it's like this acceptance, and a lot of this come with the old plague nonsense, because the Brits were the most obedient nation, did exactly what they were told, and this really did give them a confidence to ramp this shit up. It really did, because it showed that people were just a pusher. Well, not everybody. We weren't. I wasn't. I never wore a mask. I never took a test. I never took one of those clot shots, but a lot of people did. And they just went and stood in stupid queues that went one way around a supermarket and all that nonsense. And the government were just rubbing their hands in glee. Oh my God, these morons are actually like loving being enslaved. They're loving it. And that's what he's talking about here. And this is God, what?
Well, it's happy
60,
under the
70
new
years ago?
regime.
Huxley, who was also the author of another interesting book known as Brave New World, introduced George Orwell to the Fabian Socialist Society. The Fabian Society is a secret society at its core. Like many other secret societies, there are levels of initiation. This usually means that the people at the bottom have no idea of the true agenda carried out by those at the top.
Close to 7.
The Fabian Society has been instrumental in the global fascist agenda. It was the force behind the creation of the Labour Party in Britain and operates both officially and unofficially across the globe. The name Fabian comes from a Roman general named Quintius Fabius Maximus. Fabius was known to employ a carefully planned strategy that wore down his enemies over a long period of time, avoiding battles that could prove decisive either way. This is much like how the Fabian Society carries out its own agenda. The appropriate logo for the Fabian Society is the wolf in sheep's clothing. The significance in George Orwell's book is the fact that 1984 is the 100th anniversary of the Fabian Society.
Yep, which is what I've been
Many
saying,
researchers
guys.
believe that George Orwell became disillusioned with the society, and 1984 was written not as a fiction, but as a means to expose the Fabian agenda. This would explain why the Fabian Society is reported to control the copyrights of 1984 until at least 2025. They also control the rights to his estate, and they own and have sealed George Orwell's archives.
Wow, I didn't know that.
This is how George Orwell could write a book in 1984 telling in great detail how the mass population could be so easily controlled by the relative few. Sadly, ignorance is bliss, and people are systematically indoctrinated to believe certain dogmas that are fed to them through the mainstream media.
We must speak the truth about terror. Let us never tolerate outrageous conspiracy theories concerning the attacks of September the 11th. Malicious lies that attempt to shift the blame away from the terrorists themselves.
The apparent divisions between us, such as race, age, sex, culture, religion, job, and income bracket, are all just mere illusions. Many people simply cannot deal with the information that challenges their belief system. People either don't want to hear it or they just can't accept it. This is what can only be described as cognitive dissonance. George Orwell describes this perfectly in 1984 as what he calls doublethink. It's the ability of someone to hold two belief systems that are contradictory at the same time. This is how the majority of people have remained in servitude for thousands of years. Most people will actually fight to protect their own belief systems, even dismissing information that challenges it without further investigation. And through this lack of investigation and widespread dismissal, the conspiracies are able to move on, operating covertly without any challenge from the population. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Leave us a comment down below. Don't
Good
forget to
video,
click the
that.
link. And
It's short and sweet, but gave a lot of information. Hang on, just having a quick nosy through. Okay, right. Let's get rid of that. That was from 2020, that. I didn't know about this. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys know about this? That the Fabians control the... let me have a quick look on my... Hang on, let me just do a little bit of Googling here. Well, I say Googling, no. I go on to DuckDuckGo because I don't trust anything these days. But yeah, driving a car and wearing a mask is madness, isn't it? So what was that? The Fabians. So yeah, this Eric Arthur Blair, who joined them, he realised how evil they were, and he tried to get out, and he wrote the book. I think, wasn't he bumped off as well? Hang on, let me just say. He didn't show any proof, did he, of them owning them till at least 2025, and that was done in 2020. Interesting. So does that mean they're going to have to let them go soon? Right, I'm just looking here. Hang on. I'm asking the AI. Interesting. There's much more on DuckDuckGo than you get on Google, put it that way. Just find a very interesting article. So what did he say? He said that he owned his work. I'm not ignoring you guys. I can't see anything on this, and what's this here? Hang on. Oh. Right, let me just send this over to the laptop. I hope you are all well anyway. Hit the like, guys, if you don't mind. I am still here. I'm just looking at something. God, there's a lot of stuff here that goes a lot deeper into this, you know. Blimey. Apparently the Jesuits are involved. Now, I didn't know that. You see, you learn something new every day. Hi, Herman the Tosser. As always, a scholar and a gentlemanly. Good to see you. Oh, what's this here? Do you know what? Look at this. I've just found this article from their own website again. Hold on. Let me just I found a load of really good stuff. I'll probably have to cover next time because there's too much to cover in one go here. But I found links between the Jesuits. Interesting article on their own website. This is interesting. All right, just wait there. How are we all doing anyway, guys? I hope you're all okay. Hit the like, dislike if you don't like what I'm doing. I don't get offended. Now, I find this is interesting. Gosh, there's so much to cover. Honestly, right, This was written, this is on their website, and this was written in 2021. And it's called Socialism and Patriotism in a Time of Crisis. It's literally telling you, like, what are they doing right now? They're doing this fake patriotism now, aren't they? Patriotism, sorry. Have you noticed? So they were flying the Union flag at the end of the Labour Party conference, for example. They don't usually fly the Union flag. They don't give a shit about it. But it's all this, you know, bringing it. They're trying to, time of crisis, the government are in a severe, deep crisis, the Labour government are, and they've been in a crisis since virtue they got in. Because look at the Southport riots and all that. Look what happened. It was all because of them, how they treated people immediately after they got in, when the murder of those 3 little girls by that evil piece of poop, who I won't name because he's not worthy of being named. So now it's a big crisis for the Labour Party. They're coming out with all this patriot stuff, all this patriot, you know, we are British, not the British way, flying the flags and all that. We will reclaim the flag. And yet here they go, 2021, 4 years ago, socialism and patriotism in a time of crisis. 80 years ago this month, George Orwell published The Lion and the Unicorn. It is still important today, writes Paul Richards. I've never read The Lion and the Unicorn, but look, 1st of Feb 2021. See? This is a long read, but this is just your proof that this is all what they do. Perhaps the most important sentence in George Orwell's The Lion and the Unicorn, socialism and the English genius, is the opener. As I write, highly civilized human beings are flying overhead trying to kill me. I'm not going to read all this now, but there's a lot going on in here, all right? In 1948, looks like this was written. I've never read that book. Let me know in the chat if you've ever read that book. I've never even heard of that book. But there's your proof, right? That in a time of crisis, what do they go to? Socialism and patriotism. And the thing is, these people, right, these Fabians, they're really not very intelligent. You know, you've got David Lammy, for God's sake. Oh, thank you. R. Smith, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Just getting into the chat. Sorry, I've missed a load of the chat because I've been doing that again. That's really kind. You've got a poop emoji. Oh no, does that mean you don't like it? Well, thank you anyway. I appreciate that. Most welcome, Bunny. So, oh, thank you. Now look at this. God, there's so much here. Literally, look what I've just found. So that video said that the Fabians, at least till 2025, owned all of the work from George Orwell. So what's this then? What's this? This is... I don't know what this says, but this is all from George Orwell. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you very much, R. Smith. So, is this what they were talking about in that video? Is this... So I can actually download all this. I'm not doing it on my laptop. If I do it on my phone, I will first I'll put a load of antivirus in. And it might be worth me downloading all this. Look, these are letters that is written. And they're saying that... What's this? Look. Orwell's essay on language and politics. Fascism versus democracy. Is that what they were talking about? They kept all of this. And yet it's... Why are they hiding it? Why... This looks really interesting. They're saying that they kept all this private. Look, they've blurred it out. Look. What the hell? I have to download this, apparently. Oh, man. This is weird. I've come across quite a bit just looking. I'm trying to find out what they're talking about. Why are they saying that? Why are they saying that the Fabians own George Orwell's work? This is another interesting read. I'm going to drop the link for this as well. God, there's so much. Yeah. I'm just reading what R. Smith's saying. This as well. Look. Key player in the Rothschild world order. And to be fair, that's true, but in a different sense. The Rothschilds funded the London School of Economics, which is the Fabians like hub, if you know what I mean. Founded in 1884. You know, look, when I first covered these about 5 years ago, when I first covered the Fabians, people literally thought I was making this up. At the time, I said to people, look, there is a wolf wrapped in a dead sheep, a wolf in sheep's clothing. It's there. Fabians have been becoming. Yeah. Well, the thing is, though, R. Smith, if you come over from my other channel, Penny for Your Thoughts, I've been covering this for years. And it's only recently people have started talking about it. But every single Labour Prime Minister is a Fabian. They're all Fabians. All of them. The emblems of Jacob's grandson. I'm just reading these comments now. Did he really, Stephen Hull? Well, that would explain a lot then. And don't think for 1 minute that he has. I've just seen that a week ago, apparently. That would explain a lot. And, you know, like I said before, that a lot of the Liberals don't like the Fabians either, Liberal Democrats. So this person has wrote, this website says that George Orwell and Aldous Huxley were members. Their dystopian novels, Brave New World and 1984, now seem like predictive programming. A British organisation closely aligned with the Labour Party, the Fabians, on their own website described them as a socialist think tank and believe that radical long-term goals are best advanced through empirical, practical, gradual reform, i.e. boiling the frog strategy. Their logo is a wolf in sheep's clothing, a fitting analogy. So there's so much information here. This is a really good page. I'm going to hang on. I still can't believe that Beatrix Potter was one of the founders. You know, where does it end? Where does this end? How many more people are involved in this? Yeah, but you'd think the Liberals, though, Bridget, the Liberals are the left. This is why they infiltrated the left first, because they thought they'd be easier. But then even the Liberals said this ain't right. This is not right, what you're doing. And if they're the ones that started all this, you know, this eugenic stuff they talk about, all this transhumanism as well. They're all into this stuff. Transhumanism, transgenderism. It's all them. It's all about stopping us from reproducing. That's what it all comes down to. They're pushing all these agendas so that I know Normie Space, I haven't been able to for years. It's all about pushing these agendas to reduce the West, the Caucasian West, from having babies. They don't want us to. It's so bizarre. But the Fabians have infiltrated everything. The EU, the EU was just always that sort of organisation anyway. You see, I want to be in Europe, but I don't want to be run by the EU. And they're two different things. And people think that Europe is the EU and EU is Europe. It's not. Europe can exist and did exist for many years without the EU. The EU is just I don't even know what word to use. A lot of them are related to Nazis, and it's Hitler's dream of a united Europe. It's what he wanted, run from Germany. And it's basically Hitler's dream is the EU. It's what he wanted. David Icke said all this about the bait. Yeah, it's what they're pushing, the gay agenda. Of course, there's going to be people that are gay. There's going to be people that are bi. There's going to be people that believe they're born in the wrong body. Not saying that is wrong, but they push it so that people that wouldn't be thinking down that line will start thinking it's cool. And that's why there's more people now than before. I suppose some of it is because people are more confident now to come out, which is a good thing. But secondly, it's because they're pushing it. The narrative is being pushed because they want to reduce us to have babies. But if you look at these other countries, you wouldn't dream of pushing that onto them. Why do they push it onto us? It's just bizarre. So H.G. Wells was also a Fabian, as I mentioned earlier, and he was the author of the 1940 book New World Order, a non-fiction work which outlines plans for a socialist one-world government. In it, he describes a human rights declaration which served as the basis for the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. So they used that in the UN. He may have been one of the first people thinking about genetic modification and transhumanism. His 1986 book, The Island of Dr. Moore, I remember that, is about a mad scientist creating human-animal hybrids. He also wrote War of the Worlds, describing an alien invasion. It's balmy, and like I say, many people have said that that they think that he was an alien. You know, you hear some crazy stuff, don't you? But maybe not in the actual alien sense, but was he soulless? Because I think these Fabians, they've got to be soulless. They've got nothing in there. I really would you R. Smith's just said space can send it me, please. H.G. Wells' A Modern Utopia, 1905, describes remember in 1905, when people were writing about this stuff, describes a world ruled by a world state, global government. In 1905, H.G. Wells writ this crap. It's just mad, isn't it? That owns the entirety of the planet, an order of voluntary nobility known as the samurai rule the world to resolve the problem of combining progress with political stability. Humanity's vegan. This was written 120 years ago, when nobody even thought about being vegan. Humanity is vegan. All genders are equal. Human races are no longer recognised. Automation renders physical labour near obsolete. And currency is based on units of energy. Wow. All of it was just today, just talking about today. And let's not forget who accelerated all this nonsense. It was Tony Blair. Before Tony Blair, like when Maggie Thatcher got in, she really messed up the plan, the Fabian plan, to get it all done by 1984. She kind of got in the way, and they actually got rid of her. I believe that John Major was probably a Fabian in disguise, a Tory party, because he was very left for a conservative, and he wanted her gone, and he took over, if you remember. And then it was so bad on purpose so that Labour would get in. He was, in my opinion, working with Labour. He also went against Brexit and did everything he could to fight Brexit, if you remember John Major. I don't know if he's still alive. I think he is. But yeah, 120 years ago, talking about, what AI or, automation, which is what they didn't call it AI then. Thanks, Space Cat Love. I didn't see your message till just before my stream, by the way, because I was out. Took dog out. Wells, The Shape of Things to Come, speculates on future events up to the year 2106. He envisions, anybody read these books? Because I haven't. He envisions a world left in ruins by a catastrophic global conflict in which a self-appointed elite takes the reins to rebuild society and humanity itself. Yeah, Boris Johnson, I believe, was either cloned or bribed, because he was not the same person that came out when they gave him the plague or whatever they did. He said he had the plague. He came back as a different person. He went in not wanting to lock down the country, telling you to wash your hands and sing happy birthday and you'll be fine. That was weird. Rishi Sunak, 1,000,000%. He was told to go early because they wanted Labour in by Christmas. They wanted it all done dusted by Christmas. And it worked. But anyway, 1933, he wrote a book about massive worldwide social engineering, establishing a world state that abolishes all religions, the need for physical labour and social classes. They abolished physical labour. They abolished social classes, reducing the entirety of humanity to middle-class intellectuals. Eventually, the world state withers away, Marxist style. They want to get rid of all religions, but they can't with Islam. Islam is so easy to control. So they want to get them on side, because if they go against them, they know they're just going to take over and kill everyone. So they want to get them on side so that then they can manipulate Islam as well. The Freemason Orson Welles, no relation, made an infamous radio broadcast based on War of the Worlds, which was presented as a newscast and had the effect of causing mass panic amongst listeners, many of whom believed we were really under attack by Martians. This incident looks more like a social experiment than ever. Than anything. This was a one-time broadcast back in 1938. People were terrified, despite never seeing anything in real life, to suggest that aliens were invading. This was all a test, social experiment. Like with the plague, there's a plague here. Even though for your own eyes, you can't see bodies lying up in the streets and you can't see anything different, they said it, so therefore you must panic. Wells and others would have recognised the immense power that comes with media control. Compare it to the non-stop plague fear-mongering campaign we have been subjected to for nearly 2 years. This was a couple of years ago, obviously. Nobody can personally verify that the plague is real. Even the CDC says that PCR tests can't tell the difference between a cold and the flu. No, they can, because the flu is different. That's a bit wrong. They can't tell between different types of coronaviruses. That's what it means. The influenza is a different type of virus to the flu virus, which is a coronavirus. So different types of corona. The PCR test just recognises a coronavirus. It could be any one of a number of cold viruses. That's what that means. We are now told it's a Chinese bioweapon, much scarier than the original bat virus. The vaccines are killing people, and the vaccinated people are dying from the plague. Everyone needs to take the vaccine and be banned from society, or you might lose your job if you don't. Can you see? Like, this sounds bonkers. I'm reading this out now, and it doesn't seem real. It seems like something out of a book. But that happened. Replace Martians with a virus and imagine broadcasting it every day on every station, channel and news site, and you can see how we got there. Yeah, he was, Bill. He was a bit of a wet wipe. But you can see, can't you? They literally did the same thing, but just got rid of the Martians. The climate change environmentalism scam, which may be a key to socialist global government, and the transhumanist agenda also has roots in the Fabian Society, which I've covered before. Aldous Huxley was also a Fabian. He's best known for his book Brave New World, in which he describes a dystopian future where humans are biologically engineered. His brother Julian Huxley was also a member of the Fabians. He was also president of the Eugenics Society we spoke about earlier, the first director of UNESCO, and is the one to have coined the term transhumanism. Julian Huxley called Karl Marx the true John the Baptist of modern social science, and said that the USSR was a scientific experiment and the only one ever yet carried out in such a field on such a scale. It goes on and it goes on. It's madness. It's madness. The connection to Freemasonry is confirmed by New Welcome Lodge, which was originally only open to members of the Labour Party, most of whom are Fabians. Just imagine how evil these people are. Now, not only are they planning to turn this world into a living hell, they write books and make movies about it and get rich selling them to the public. So true. H.G. Wells' Illuminati shill wrote the script unfolding today. So interesting. He also wrote The Time Machine, which is turning out to be right in line with the direction of today's world. In his final destination with his time machine, he visits a world where people don't work and are lounging around because everything is provided for them. They don't care to learn anything. They have quit reading, but can obtain knowledge through high-tech talking rings that tell them the history. The people in that civilization live in great fear of the Morlocks who are in control of them and go into an obedient trance when the sirens sound to round them up to be taken to slaughter. H.G. once said that he stood behind his predictions, and by the way the world is going today, we, like the people of that civilization, has become obedient to a fault. We don't challenge things or care to research things enough to know when we're being led to our own slaughter. We go into our own politically correct trance and tell ourselves what's happening is really not happening at all. Wow, what an awesome article this. So it says here the new Fabian logo is the turtle. I think they got rid of that as well now, if I remember rightly. This is in 2021, which was strike hard. When I strike hard. Slow and steady. It says here, as for George Orwell, this is what the writer of this website's written. My research has led me to conclude that they tried to get him to join the Fabian Society, but he didn't agree. They told him much of their plans to try and get him on board, but Orwell was a good man and he refused to join the cabal. That reminds me of Aaron Russo, who made From Freedom to Fascism. Rockefeller tried to get him to join the CFR by telling him their plans, but he refused to join and instead told the world what Rockefeller had revealed to him. Getting back to Orwell, this video of his deathbed warning is telling, at least I believe it is. He really did care about the future of humanity and was not one of them. Now, I don't want to click that link, but I'm pretty sure that video is on my channel somewhere. It used to be. Big Brother was not the government, but Talmudic bankers. Even as a kid in Catholic school reading Animal Farm, the police dogs were metaphor for the Jewish totalitarian police state. The pigs were the two Talmudic bankers, not like the nuns. It meant communism. I knew then, even as a kid, it was wealthy jewelry. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm reading that. Interesting. Very interesting. Right, it's 22:11 now, so I'm going to cut this off. But yeah, there's just so much. I could be here all day. Do you know what I mean? There's so much going on with Fabianism. And there's only so much I can talk about, really. But honestly, I would recommend anyone, if you can, to where are we now? There we are. To look into it yourself. You know, there's a lot. There's a hell of a lot in there. Right, need 2 hours. Okay, where are we now? We're on Monday. I want to do a curious news show as well this week. And I will also probably be going live on Penny for Your Thoughts channel at some point. But at the moment, I've just been uploading shorts. There's a video coming up on Penny Bunny that I'll still not put out. I need to finish editing of Sowerby Hall. And yeah, there you go. So I'm running 3 channels, so just bear with me, guys. I will do everyone who was a member in September. I'm going to do the draw, but I'm going to have to do it for less this time because I just can't afford it at the moment. Because again, I haven't even been paid from Penny Bunny this month. There's not even enough in the membership pot to even get me paid. It has to roll over. So I'm just going to be doing a £6 gift card. I know, I'm tired. Good night, everybody. I'll see you all very, very soon. I hope the lovely Rose is okay. And I'm still worried about Diane. I don't know where she's gone. Hi, Nanny. Oh, well, it'll be left up, darling. Was there no notification? But the main thing is that it's left up, so anybody that wants to watch it can. But I do want to cover some news because there's been a couple more dead people found. Oh, well, thank you, Bill. And thank you for adding as well, adding your input, because it's what we do over here, you know. Everyone's welcome and we all have ideas. You had no notification. Oh, man. Well, Bill, welcome, my friend. Thank you for everyone who's joined us. Thanks for hitting the like. It's shocking, isn't it? Where are we now? We're on Monday, Tuesday. I might be live tomorrow. I'll see, because it's bell night, but it's pitch black when the bells go off now. Good night, Lanny. Who's Lanny? You changed your name. I'm glad you enjoyed it, my love. I feel like have you changed your name, Lanny, from something else? Glad you enjoyed it, everybody, and I'll see you all soon. Just keep an eye on the notifications on all 3 channels, guys. If you're not subbed to Penny Bunny and you love animals and outdoorsy stuff, it's content over there, wildlife. If you're enjoying politics and US, UK politics and a bit of entertainment news thrown in, Penny for Your Thoughts. And if you're into your mysteries, paranormal, UFOs, true crime, anything that's bizarre. Oh, Nanny loves to craft. I thought so. I thought you changed your name. Then stick with us here or sub to all of them because there might be something on each channel that you're interested in. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for joining me tonight and I'll see you all soon. Good night. God bless. Lots of love. Bye.